In this video, I'm going to show you how Derrek plays Skye on Bind in Ranked and uses her abilities to their fullest potential by taking advantage of the map's narrow lanes, flash zones, and teleporters. So stick around to learn how to dominate Bind with Skye. There are timestamps in the description below if you want to skip around. We'll start with attack side on Bind, and it's important to remember that your initial primary objective on attack side Bind is to figure out which side has less enemies, because that's probably going to be the site that you want to hit when you have no other reads. Starting with B site attack, your team's ideal goal is to secure both B long and hookah. If you have a Raze on your team, it's preferable for you to go B long and your Raze to go hookah. I'll come to why that is after we talk about taking B long. So first we're going to run over to this position over here, and then we're going to flash Octagon like this to see if anybody is B long. If our flash didn't catch anybody, we can usually just run up with our teammates and it's going to be pretty safe. And we'll get to our next mid-round position, which is over here. I have some tips that will make this entire process a bit more refined that I'll share in a second. So if your flash did catch somebody, then you need to be taking B long a lot more carefully, especially if there's a flash agent playing in Garden or Octagon. There needs to be one person over here playing anti-flash while the other teammate scales. So the person here playing anti-flash is just going to wait until they hear a flash pop. Then they're going to swing out and shoot the person that threw the flash and is swinging out. Your other teammate is going to be scaling up very slowly, being careful of whether there's somebody on the left or there's somebody on the right. And they're probably going to get flashed, right? They're probably going to get flashed while they're walking up, because this is where all the flash agents play. And so there's a lot of reliance on this person playing anti-flash and coming out and fighting that guy that's going to peek out. So there is one variation of this, and this is more for when you're rotating off of A to come back to B, or you know that there's only like one or two people back site and you can just run up safely. What you can do is just run up and then throw your flash over the wall, pop it, and then swing in. And at the same time as when your bird goes over the wall, your duelist should be coming in from either long or hookah entering the site, and the flash should be timed such that it pops right as they're going to come out, and you also swing out just as your bird pops. So here are the 2 or 3 tips that I was talking about before that I said would make this process a little bit easier. When the barrier comes down and you're running up, you actually want to run up backwards if there's an enemy Skye, so that you don't get flashed. If you get full blinded, you're not going to be able to see your map, and it's going to be harder to control your bird to do this flash B long to check whether there's anybody there. The other tip that I have, if you're the person scaling up B long, start from the left side and watch this doorway up to about here before you expose yourself to sight. Then cross over to the right side, clearing the teleporter angles, and then clearing this final angle so that you're not exposed to sight ever. If you scale up on the left side the entire way, you're going to be exposed to people on sight. So you have to cross over to make sure that you can clear this side safely. But up to this point, you'll have a better angle than the person peeking out of Garden. So you'll have angle advantage on them if you're looking at it like this. The last option and the safest option to take B long control is to dog, but obviously you lose your dog for sight if you do this. You still can check the front side of sight, but you can't check back sight if you dog from here. Once we make it to this mid-round position, we want to check whether our teammates have secured hookah. If they've secured hookah, then we want to coordinate an attack on site, and we're going to use our flash or dog if we still have it to get info on site and to help our duelist entry. If our teammates haven't secured hookah, what we can do is leave our teammate that scaled up B long with us and just go back to hookah to help our teammates. We want to come to around over here or over here if they've secured this area, and we want to dog this to take hookah, or we can flash so that our teammates can secure hookah. Now you might have remembered earlier that I said it's better for Raze to go hookah and for Skye to go B long, and that's because Raze has this boombot and nade that make it very easy to clear hookah. All she has to do is boombot there, nade there, and the entirety of hookah is secure. You'll know if somebody is here because of the boombot. So if Raze goes hookah and Skye goes B long, it's very unlikely that by the time you take B long control that you won't have hookah control, and then you'll be set up for a sight hit already. So let's go back to B long, and let's say that both your teammates in hookah and you are ready to execute sight. There's a few flashes and dogs that we can use. The first flash can be like this, where we're flashing over here. There's another flash that we can do like this, which pops over here, and that checks anybody in tube. And we can also, of course, dog into sight. Check left, check hell, check elbow, check behind this box, check behind tube. You can see there's a lot of time on the dog if we save our dog to dog from the top of B long. can check all of backside, can clear the entire site with our dog if we save it. Now going back to hookah, if we had to come back here to help our teammates take this space, that's fine. We can also dog and flash from here. There's usually going to be a brimstone smoke over here, which we have to dog or flash through to help our teammates get out of hookah. So we can just do a flash like this. Just pop it on the right side. And if we have to dog from here, I actually recommend dogging like this, so that we can check this cubby over here and also this one a little bit more easily. So we're gonna go like this. We check that cubby. We'll check like this. And then we can clear all of site as well. If you dog from the right side, you can't clear this cubby. Keep in mind that we never saw Derrek start here because he has a Raze. But if you don't have a Raze on your team and you don't have a Fade or you don't have a Sova, you might need to go hookah to help your team clear the area. Right, so if you go hookah, you can walk up this way. Keep your crosshair on the angle for people that peek out. And when you get this position, you can dog like this. Same thing. Or you can flash inside the site and your teammates will enter. And then you can run back to B long and help your teammate take B long with a flash if they need it. That's pretty much it for B site attack. We're going to go over to A site now. For attacking A site, we always saw Derrek start on this side. We never saw Derrek start A link, A short. And one of the main reasons I think is because Derrek is contesting Bath a lot of the time. He comes over here and then he flashes on the right side so that his duelist can get into Bath with the help of that flash and clear it out. So once we get to this mid-round position, the next thing that we're going to want to do is make sure our teammates have taken short control and that we're ready to hit the site together. And if we want to hit the site together, then we're going to dog. We're going to make sure that these angles are clear, check that that's clear, and then check that back site is clear, both this side and this side. And if there's a smoke here, we can pop flash out for our teammate and they're going to come in and take their fights. And we should be securing the front side of site. So after we've dogged site and flashed our teammate in, we're going to be coming into site as well. So this should be smoked, this should be smoked, heaven should be smoked. And the place that Derrek likes to play is on bench. And he's going to look towards CT and try to tap some heads after the smoke goes down. And this is basically our post-plant position. Now, let's say you've reached this mid-round position. You're going to execute site, but then somebody comes through the TP and you need to fight the person going through the coming from the TP. So what Derrek likes to do is come to over here. And then once the door opens, he's going to pop flash and fight the guy. And also, if you get to this position and your team decides that they want to rotate back to B, what we want to do is come this way. As we're coming over here, we want to send a flash towards A short, because our teammate is probably going to leave faster than us at A short, and there's a chance that the enemy could have walked up into A short and be coming out here to try to catch a timing on anybody running across here. So this flash gives us info as we're running on whether anybody could be waiting here trying to get a pick on us. So we also saw the situation where Derrek flashed for his teammates over here to take control of Bath, and then his teammates wanted him to help dog short, so we come over here. And then we dog with clear cubby, clear right side, clear here, and then we jump into U-Haul. We can also flash from here, which we saw Derrek do, and that helps our teammate take U-Haul as well. And often there's going to be a smoke here, so we also saw Derrek flash for his teammates like this to help them get through the smoke. And then we're going to be scaling onto site. And you plant over here. And if we're playing on this half of A site, there's two main spots that Derrek played post-plant from. One is over here, and the other is from over here, where we're fighting U-Haul, and we're fighting anybody coming out from site. Pretty standard stuff, actually. There is one round where after he planted, then he went back to benches as well. He seems to really like this position, and I do think this is a really good position too. And there is one other flash that we saw Derrek do as well, which goes over the truck. And then down, that checks if anybody is backside. Moving on to how Derrek is playing Skye on bind. On defense, all of the times that we saw Derrek play, he's playing B site and he's playing for B long. The way that bind works, if you're playing weak site, which is usually B site, you're going to double up with a teammate, either long or hookah. And you're going to try to hold that area. If you manage to hold it, then that's great, and it's much harder for them to attack B site. If you can't hold it, then you have to fall back to either elbow or backside or CT and give them the site entirely. Most of the time, we saw Derrek play B long, and so he's here with his teammate, and they're going to fight for B long control. At the start of the round, we're going to be throwing this flash, and that's going to tell us if anybody is going to hit B from this area. And if there's nobody there, then we can dog through teleporter like this. And check if anybody is attacking Bath side. If there is somebody attacking Bath side and it seems like a rush, like they're rushing A short, your teammate at B long who's fighting with you for B long control should go through the teleporter after your dog. But if it looks like they're not committing to A yet, your teammate doesn't have to go in, and then he can chill in Octagon while you chill over here. And then you can have this crossfire set up for long, while you can also keep tabs on if there are any sounds in hookah, and you can watch if there and see if there's anybody jumping out of hookah. If you need info on outside Bath again, or if your teammate wants to peek, then you can flash for them, and your flash should come out over here, and you should pop it over here so that you don't blind your teammate. So it'll be something like this. If it looks like they're committing A and you've killed their sentinel, or maybe they have no sentinel, another thing that we saw Derrek do is just walk out B long and go for a flank, and he decided to go this way rather than that way. So we're coming this way, and we're flanking the enemy like this basically. If we did the initial flash and it looks like they're going to come B, or there are people attacking B long, then there's two things that we saw Derrek do. One is stand over here and then flash for his teammate over here. I'm going to flash like this, and then his teammate's going to swing. And the other flash that we saw goes through this hole over here. And so we throw this flash, we pop it, and then we swing out. And we fight. So let's say we fought for B long and we managed to kill one person, or we didn't manage to kill anybody, but we have to fall back. There's a lot of people and we can't hold B long anymore. So then we want to retreat to elbow, basically. And we have to be careful of hookah as well if it's not smoked, because they're probably running a split, right? This is going to end up smoked. We want to try to keep control of elbow, because it's really hard to retake B if you lose control of like elbow and halls. The thing with this spot is to try to find the right timing to come out of the smoke that's over here. Either we're going to flash through it, pop flash through, or we're just going to walk out of it. And what we saw Derrek do is actually just walk out of it. I think it was on a pistol round. Timing with which we want to walk out or pop flash out is when our teammates are going to start executing their retake from CT. We want to come out at the same time. Now, there is also a situation where we managed to keep control of B long with our teammate. The enemies have taken control of hookah. So that's actually a really good situation for us. If our teammates are still fighting hookah, we can help them with flashes like this, or we can dog like this to help them keep hookah or to fight hookah. And we're in a really good situation then. And then there's one additional situation with Brim ult, because oftentimes Brims like to ult garden, or they like to ult elbow or things like that. And so if we're defending B long, which often we should be, Brim decides to ult us, then we have to come out. Then we're really exposed here, especially to hookah, and there might be people coming up long, so we might get pinched. In that scenario, we want to go back to elbow. We have to be looking for people coming out of hookah, right? They're going to be literally coming out because they're going to execute off of the Brim ult. So when we go back and we retreat to elbow, we have to be watching for people popping out. We want to try to get into this position before they actually land on the ground, right? So the timing is really crucial. So what we saw was Derrek got ulted, and then he's coming out here and he's managing to catch people as they jump out. If we're over here at B long and it looks like they're actually going to commit A, then we want to go A to help our teammates. And so we're actually going to go through the teleporter. And if you have an ult, this is a good time to pop the ult, right? Because it helps let you know whether there's somebody still A lobby that you need to be worried about before going into Bath. Ultimately, our goal is to get into Bath and help our teammate fight Site. So you can ult if you have it. This is a really good time to do it. Or you're going to flash through here like this, and then you have to fight these angles and try to understand if there's anybody holding for your teleport. If there's nobody in the A lobby area, then you're going to be trying to take control of Bath, and you can do so using some flashes like that. When you get to this mid-round position on the retake, it's pretty much like offense. You're going to use what remaining utility you have to try to either identify where enemies are or use your util to try to get kills. In Derrek's case, we saw that he identified that there are enemies in like this type of area, and so he used this wall ride flash to help him fight the area. When trying to retake the site, we also saw that Derrek moved to over here by triple and fought from this kind of area, looking like heaven, clearing back site, and trying to get the jump on people around these areas. So we're not going to throw this flash every single time, right? Like 95% of the time we're playing here, and if you throw this flash every single time, they're going to know that you're going to do it, right? And they're just going to be like, let's wait for Skye flash. and it pops, and then they run up, and you don't know whether it's going to be a B hit or not, or if there's anybody B long or not there, right? We cannot throw this flash every single time, so you have to change up and do some variation. So one of the variations, wait 3 seconds, then just throw it. So just throw it after 3 seconds, and you have to be a bit more careful of people walking up, but if they're walking, it's going to take a lot longer for them to come up B long, and you'll have time. And you just throw the exact same flash, right? You pop it in the same spot. The other variation that you can do is you throw the same flash, but have somebody walk up behind it. If you have another flash agent like a Phoenix or something, that's really good. Like Phoenix can walk all the way up to here, and then he can flash around the corner and then kill anybody in this area. Of course, while he does that, you'll have to hold for him a bit wider than he is so that he doesn't get killed immediately. And you can also run it down with some other teammates. Say like you throw this flash, but you're running with 2 other teammates down here. It pops, and then you're going to fight this area. You can do that with a Brim stoke here, and that's pretty good too because it conceals you running down, and then you can throw another flash when you get through the smoke, and they might not expect that either. And if you want to do that play eventually, you should be putting the Brim smoke here to condition them that there's nothing behind the smoke, there's just the flash. All of a sudden you're going to burst through with another flash, which they shouldn't expect because every round before that there's been a smoke and a flash and nothing has come from it. So that's pretty much it for how we saw Derrek play Skye and Bind. It's a pretty simple map for Skye, so it's a good one to learn if you're just getting into learning Skye. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. There are more playbooks coming right up.